Of course, I get a ding when I begin this podcast. Like, let me check my phone.
You're at 109 right now.
Where did the ding come from? Oh, I guess it's a residual message on my phone. Not my phone. On my laptop. Perhaps. I didn't receive any messages, but I did hear a ding. I don't know where that ding came from. Okay. I didn't receive a message on my phone. So if you're if you're an Apple user, and all your devices are connected, I don't know what to say if you're an Android user. I used to be an Android user, so this is no shade on Android users. I'm just saying, I don't know what the deal is with Android devices. But if you're an Apple user and all of your devices are connected, you'll get a ding if a message comes in and your cell phone and your computer are on, like in my case, then you'll get the notification on both devices or all devices if I have my iMac, MacBook, and cell phone open. I'm just talking about that because I'm wondering where that ding came from. All right, guys. So what's going to happen with this one is I want to talk about. I think this is a diary of a happy black man, and these are the keys to success in America. Right? Diary of a Happy Black Man, Keys to Success in America. That's what we're talking about today. All right?
You're at 109 right now.
And where do I begin? Shout out to Vallejo's own La Russell, young black man. And I see similarities between myself and him. I can identify with them. He listens to Sadhguru. I saw pictures of him meeting Sadhguru. Sadhguru is spelled Sadhguru. If you're unfamiliar with Sadhguru, tap in on Sadhguru. Do a Google search for Sadhguru and the number 108. All right, 108, and you get some idea. You can learn about the significance of that number 108, so you can get to understand get to the level of understanding where I am, or at least the level of awareness. The level of awareness, that's where I am. I'm aware of these things, and that's the point from which I speak. When I'm aware of these things, then there you go. When you become aware of these things too, then you can speak, from this perspective as well. Or you can ignore this perspective and just say that's a bunch of hogwash. But it's not hogwash. It's just something you've never been taught in school. But anyhow, so the keys to a happy black life, the happy black man, the diary of a happy black man. I was thinking of that title. I was thinking of Medea, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And I said, well, how do we flip that and talk about happiness? So here I go. To be happy in America, money is the key. Okay, that's the end of the show. Have a good day. Bye.
You're at 109 right now.
Money is the key. Yeah, you can't have money without happiness. So if you don't have money, then you're probably frustrated, angry, impatient, because you're in a different you're in a different position on the pyramid, on Maslow's Maslow's pyramid of needs, something like that. I think Nipsey referred to Maslow's hierarchy. I'm doing a Google search right now. How come that didn't just pop up? Let's go. Do the search, people. Yeah, something's not working with this. What's going on? Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah, I said it correctly. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Check me out. I know some things. They're at the frontal cortex. See, I don't know the brain that well, so I don't even the medulla oblongata, the frontal cortex. The I don't know. I wouldn't even be able to map out the brain. The pineal is in there. They say the pineal gland is the seat of the soul, and they say the pineal gland looks like the eye of Horus. Ooh, that's deep right there. That's deep. So this money thing, doesn't don't our dollars have the eye of Horus on them on the pyramid? You have to study the dollar, and then you see the pyramid on there, and then the pyramid has an eye, like an all-seeing eye at the apex of the pyramid. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not going to decode it. I'm not going to look into it right now per se, because there were some other ideas that I wanted to share before going down any rabbit hole and before doing some Google searches to learn some things or what have you. So, excuse me. So, I said money is key because when you need things, okay, because to be happy, you're going to need things, and you need to provide those things that you need, or you need to acquire the things that you need. Food and shelter are primary. Food on a daily basis. I eat out often, or rather, I go and I get things that I need to eat. Fruit, fresh fruit, daily. Water, coffee, occasionally some alcohol, some beers, maybe some whiskey, some rum. I like rum, you know. I think going to the rums, going to the alcohol and the spirits too regularly is problematic because our bodies are so sensitive. I think if you look at the liver, if you were to actually look at a liver, and like if you just poured, what is it? If you took an organ or some meat, take some meat, take a steak, drop it in some Coca-Cola and let it sit for a few days, you get, something's happening. You get some film on the coke on the meat. It's going to change, and essentially that's what you're doing with your liver when you're drinking alcohol. And so, change is real. And so the best thing to give our bodies is water. So when you think like that, when you can see the actual change that is going to occur to your body when you intake these chemicals, I think you would probably be less likely to want to do that to your body. Unless, of course, you're traumatized and you're like, I'm ready to check out and I'm going to destroy myself. I think that is what they said happened to Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker was suicidal after the death of his daughter, 2-year-old Pri. And he had to check himself into a mental hospital. So alcoholism, dipsomania. That's the term for alcohol, dipsomania. And also, how do I know dipsomania means alcoholism? Because I'm looking at Jean-Michel Basquiat's artwork entitled All Colored Cast, and he wrote dipsomania on that work of art. I didn't know what it meant until I did a search and found what it meant. And I think that he was talking about Charlie Parker when he wrote dipsomania. Could have been talking about anyone who's an alcoholic, but Charlie Parker was his dude, was his man, was his idol, his focus. Like, at one time, Tupac Shakur was my focus, was my idol. Like, yo, Pac is speaking the truth. He's an interesting cat. Follow him, listen to him. And then when he died, I was like, decipher his lyrics, understand his lyrics, because there are messages in his lyrics. I got over that. Well, it took many years before I really got over Pac. And I stopped thinking about him and analyzing his work. And it took a number of years, maybe like 4 years or more. I remember I was trying to sell the lyrics to Machiavelli. I was trying to sell the lyrics to Machiavelli back in high school. I was like, yo, there are lyrics. There are messages in his lyrics. I was doing that in high school at Hamilton. Senior year, 1996. 1996, 97. Yeah, I was doing that. Right, because he died in 1996, September 1996. So that was my senior year, because September was the start of the new year and we were going into 1997. Yep. He died my senior year in high school. Yeah, that was a bizarre, sad, tumultuous time. Simply because, a young hero, a vivacious, spirited young man, older person, a hero, was no longer there. That was hard. That was very hard. But money is important. And where was I? So money is important. What's the other thing? Money is important. Getting the things that you need. Be careful what you put into your body. Fresh fruit and vegetables. That's excellent. That comes from earth. We come from earth, consume earth until we return to earth. Does sugar come from earth? We have sugar cane, and then it gets processed. Brown sugar is the first type of sugar, and then we pull out. Man pulls out the whatever. See, I don't know my science. My chemistry, because I don't know. But you know what was interesting? When I was in middle school, we had a teacher, Mr. Rodriguez. And at some point, I remember when I asked him about enriched bread. And he tells me in a very serious manner, he was a very serious guy. He was like, enriched means the nutrients were taken out. And I was like, oh boy, was that a revelation. That day was a powerful day, because Mr. Rodriguez was such an intense character, was such an intense person. And I remember when he was walking through the halls of Pilgrim School with the ash on his forehead. He was a Catholic, so it was Ash Wednesday. I didn't understand what that meant, but he just had that, and I was like, what is that? He's like, it's Ash Wednesday. Homosexual, Latino, Mr. Rodriguez. Anyway, the thing about it was, I remember that interaction when he told me that, white bread was, or enriched bread was bread that was, originally the color of it was brown, and then the brown was taken out, so it made it white. So like white bread it lacks nutrients and stuff. And I'm like, that was a revelation in and of itself. I don't think I've eaten white bread since. I mean, when I was a kid, the white bread was so soft and all of that, and it was like, ooh, wow, that's interesting, But no, I don't eat white bread anymore. So anyway, remember Wonder Bread? I haven't even seen Wonder Bread. Do they make that anymore? My goodness, I'm sure they do. I'm sure someone's eating Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread. There's Bimbo in Latin American countries. Bimbo bread. I was in class one day. A young girl walked in with a Bimbo bread jersey, a football jersey. And I said, oh, that's Bimbo bread. And she's like, no, this is the Bimbo soccer team. And I was like, oh, whoops. So the soccer team was sponsored by the bread, apparently. All right. So to be happy in America, you first have to have some money. So a job is key. I remember 2007, 2006, 2005, 2004. I was struggling because I didn't have gainful employment, as my grandfather, referred to it. And I was like, what the heck is gainful employment? How do I get gainful employment? And so I was looking for work in all the wrong places, because today I'm working for Los Angeles Unified School District, but I could have done this when I was, fresh out of college. I could have become a substitute teacher way back when. 20 years ago, I could have done this. And here I am 20 years later doing it, like, because I need it. It's just ridiculous. But it pays well. It's what I need to sustain myself. So having a job is important. And for what I'm saying, I'm sure no one's even going to listen. No one's listening to this. No one's even taking this as, something to heed. This isn't even advice. I'm just speaking from experience. So, and I'm sure none of this is even going to, be listened to. But the thing about why I'm recording right now, let me tell you why. Recently, a friend of mine gave me a proposal. He said, I propose to pay you $30 an hour for the content on your podcast. And so the more hours of content that I could provide, that I could hand over to him for an AI research and development project, the more content I could hand over, the more hours I could hand over, the more money I would be able to make. And up until, the deadline, I was only able to produce, I think he told me, like 13 hours of content. I'm still waiting for my check, by the way. He said I'll get it before the 31st of December. I need it now, though. I would rather have it sooner. Also, I would rather have more content than the 13 hours that he said I gave him. I thought I gave him like 20 or 25 hours. I was trying to give him like 60 hours. That just didn't work out. It was just way too time consuming to convert all of these recordings into WAV files, I believe he needed, and then transfer them to him. And it was just it was a bit much. But $30 an hour is considerable, and it's worth considering. It's worth doing. I don't mind. I would gladly hand over my content for $30 an hour. Like, yeah, sure, dude. Just talk and get paid $30 an hour. You got it. So that's what I'm doing now. That's where this content is coming from. It's coming from the desire for me to speak, the desire for me to share my ideas, and the desire for me to build my catalog of episodes, and my desire to get that money, because that money is the key to happiness, because the money is the oil, is the lubricant for the system, for the engine, because it allows us to get the things we need. I buy spring water, Crystal Geyser spring water. I buy it. I don't live near a river where there's clean drinking water, so I have to buy my water. So I buy those massive gallon containers of Crystal Geyser spring water, and I do not drink tap water. So there you go. Just took a sip. I made some green tea. That's dope, having some green tea. So the key to happiness is money. That's the first level. That's the bottom level. But what I wanted to tell you also is travel is important. You got to get out of America. You got to get out of your city, your town. Everyone has always made that a dream, because look at what happened. Everyone's dream is to get out of their small town, and everyone needs money in order to do that. So isn't that interesting how our society is predicated upon taking away from each person what they need, taking their time, taking their money. Everything is a transfer of the essential. Everything is a trade-off. It's a transfer of the essential. Give me your time. Give me your money. So yeah, getting out of a small town, getting out of your city, your state is important. And then the ultimate travel goal should be getting out of your country. But you can start by leaving your country. In my case, I've traveled to about 43 countries, and I have traveled to far fewer states and cities in America. I mean, when I was in high school, my dad, mom, sister, and I drove cross country. So we crossed like many southern states. What did we cross? California, Arizona, New Mexico? We had to have crossed New Mexico. Or maybe we went, I really need to ask my dad. We took the 10 freeway. I remember that. That detail was clear. Let me look at the map, because the 10 freeway, let's see. The 10 freeway across the US, that's what I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at a map. 10 freeway across the US. Let's see. I'm trying to zoom out. So the 10 freeway will take you through, what is that? What state is that? California. All right, we hit Palm Springs. I'm getting an idea. Maybe I should take the 10 freeway and drive across country. One of my students drove to Utah. Why not drive cross country? Phoenix, Arizona. Okay, from California to Arizona on the 10. Then the 10 takes you through, you keep going on the 10, and it takes you through the southern states. All right, New Mexico, right? Yeah, you go through New Mexico, and then the I-10 takes you down south, keep going, and then you go through Texas, and then Louisiana. Oh, okay, yeah. Then Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. All right, so what we did is we were going to Atlanta. So by the time we got to the 10 freeway, maybe we then took the 75 north to get to Augusta, Georgia, Athens, Marietta, Chattanooga, Birmingham, Columbus. Where is Georgia? Okay, there's Georgia. So where's Atlanta? So we must have taken the 10 freeway all the way across. I don't know. 10 freeway to the 75, 675. Chattanooga. I'm searching, y'all. Where's I see Athens, I see Marietta, but I don't see Atlanta. There's College Park. Atlanta's kind of small, eh? Marietta. What the hell? College Park. Zoo, Atlanta. Dang, this was difficult. Atlanta. Downtown Atlanta. I didn't see a large block letters for Atlanta. I didn't see that. This is interesting. Well, whatever. Decatur. How come I don't see the words Atlanta? I see Marietta. I don't see Atlanta. Jeez. I see Athens. I see Georgia. Augusta. Okay, the capital. Okay, because instead of naming the capital, there's a big yellow circle with a white star in the middle to tell you that is the capital. So that's why I couldn't find it. All right, so we took the 10 freeway through Phoenix, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then Florida. And when we got to Florida, then we took the 75 up north to Georgia, where we went to, what's that thing called? Spelman College, to drop my sister off. And I guess from there, we didn't go any further. We stayed in Georgia, and then we took the train back. We took Amtrak back to back across the United States. You know what? I have more than 5 or 6 days. To in my vacation, and I think I'm just gonna drive across country. I'm just gonna do it. I have a car that is in excellent condition. Let me figure out how many miles that is, because I have new tires on my car. The car is running excellent. It's time to put the rubber to the pavement and put some miles on the bad boy, and and see America. It's time to see America. I don't have that much money, but we're gonna have to make it work. Remember, money is the key. Got to pack a whole bunch of water and a whole bunch of supplies to just munch on things and then do it. Although it takes a lot of planning, but at the same time, it's like you can stay at motels and you can do other things. You dig? But anyway, the key to success and happiness is money and what else? And travel. Those are the first two keys. We're going to come back with the next segment, and I'm going to tell you some other keys to success. All right, so that's segment number 1, and I'm out.
You're at 109 right now.